This is Smokin' Dave, and you're listening to a man who would never wear a pink shirt on Championship Sunday at the Masters. It's the Kevin Friedman Show.
Hey now, it's Tuesday, April 10th, and another SportsGossip.com podcast is on the air. I'm your host, Kevin Friedman, here with my announcer, Smokin' Dave, and together we will bring you 10 of the hottest stories off the SportsGossip.com website. Dave, start us off with story number one.
Scottie Pippen says LeBron MJ comparison should never be made.
Listen, I'm from Chicago. I love the Bulls. I grew up watching Scottie and Michael dominate the league. I love Pippen as a player. Is he top 50 all time? I think not. When it comes to broadcasting, he is horrible. I remember Pippen on ESPN all the time a few years ago comparing LeBron and MJ and saying how LeBron has a chance to become better than MJ. Now all of a sudden there's no comparison? Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying in any way that LeBron is better than MJ, because he's not, and he never will be. But you can absolutely compare the two to each other. LeBron's one of the all-time greatest players to ever play in the league. And if you want to compare one of the best players to ever play in the league to the greatest player to ever play in the league, that's a fair comparison. Now, if you're going to take the argument that LeBron is better than MJ, then you're an insane person. I could throw out all the stats. LeBron's 3-5 in the finals. MJ was 6-0, blah, blah, blah. But it really comes down to one glaring thing. And that's the year 2011. LeBron's first year with the Heat, when they played Dallas in the finals. LeBron turned into a complete choke job in that series. He averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. And every game in that series, when it came to crunch time, he fell apart. I mean, he was outplayed by J.J. Barea. Do I have to say more? Michael Jordan would never be outplayed by a J.J. Barea, especially in an NBA Finals. All you have to do is pull up the tape of that 2011 NBA Finals, and your argument's done. MJ would never fall apart like that, and LeBron did. Case closed. LeBron's one of the greatest players ever, and if he wins a title this season, it might be the most impressive single season of all time. But he'll never be Jordan. He'll never be as clutch, and anyone who tells me they would want the ball in LeBron's hands over MJ's in the fourth quarter of a close game in the NBA Finals is insane. There's no argument. MJ is the greatest of all time. LeBron can win 7 more titles and he'll still never be what MJ was. Dave, what's next?
Yankees fans pile garbage on passed out guy's head.
Yeah, I've got a whole new respect for Yankees fans after this one. There's 2 things you can't do at a ballpark. 1, stand up when you're sitting in the first row. And 2, fall asleep at the game. So this Yankee fan fell asleep in the bleachers. He was hunched over with his head down, so Yankees fans decided to play Jenga on his back. You can go to sportsgossip.com and check out the video yourself. I highly recommend it. They managed to get 4 of those cardboard food containers stacked up on his back and then added 4 plastic cups. Every time they added a cup, the crowd went wild. The fans look like they're having more fun messing with this guy than they are watching the game. I'll be honest, if I was in the bleachers with those guys, I would have been right there helping them stack. Go to sportsgossip.com yourself and check out this 20-second video. And next time you're at a game, make sure you stay awake. Dave, what's next?
Cubs fan launches 2 Brewers fans during a fight in Milwaukee.
After you're done watching that Yankee video, you can scroll down and find this video where you'll see 1 Cub fan beat the crap out of 2 Brewers fans. Now, whenever the Cubs play in Milwaukee, the crowd's usually about 50-50 split. It's only about an hour drive from Chicago to Milwaukee, so all the Cub fans show up for these games. One of the Brewer fans is wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey. The other one's wearing a Ryan Braun jersey. I mean, who has a Ryan Braun jersey? The guy's an admitted cheater. Why would you want his jersey? Aaron Rodgers even publicly admitted he doesn't like Ryan Braun. So these 2 nerds are trying to start a fight with the guy behind him, as I said. The guy's way bigger than him and has the higher ground. The Cub fan is trying to do the right thing and warn these guys that they don't want to fight, but these guys won't give in. They just keep pushing. People are trying to hold them back. They're pushing anyways. They won't stop. So this Cub fan sees they're not backing down, goes into attack mode, gives them both a shove, and both these little nerds go flying about 3 rows. Then they get up and run away. It's a great video. You can go to sportsgossip.com to watch it, and it just goes to show, don't mess with Cub fans. Hey Dave, you ever gotten in a fight at a game?
It was Lakefront Stadium in Cincinnati, Pete Rose had just hit a foul ball coming right at me, and this little punk kid gets in my way and I don't get the ball. So what do? I sock this little kid right across the face.
You punched the little kid in the face? How quick were you thrown out?
Well, the kid turned out to be Mexican, so Marge Schott invited me to the owner's box. You know, I always said that Marge Schott had a bad reputation. If you get to know her personally, she's a nice lady.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Marge Schott was a saint. Will you give us the next story?
NBA Milhouse trying to score Bucks playoff tickets.
This story is amazing. I like The Simpsons. I think that character Milhouse is funny, but this guy dressing up like Milhouse and going to the game is a... You can go to sportsgossip.com yourself and look at these pictures. I mean, this guy's in his 40s. He's fully decked out as Milhouse from The Simpsons, and he's doing it for attention. He's probably not even a basketball fan. Now, this guy's so pathetic, he makes Marlins Man look like a real fan by comparison. And now this guy has the balls to start a GoFundMe page so that you can buy him Bucks playoff tickets. If anybody contributes to this GoFundMe page, I'll go crazy. If this guy even gets 1 penny, that's insane. I mean, I want to start a GoFundMe page to keep this guy from going to the games. You can go to sportsgossip.com and check out this asshole for yourself, and please do not donate to his GoFundMe page. Dave, what's next?
St. Louis Cardinals announcer references a sex act.
He's Cardinals radio broadcaster Mike Shannon, and here's what he said.
I'm going to tell you about a blowjob. That's right.
That's right, he was doing a live read for a glass-blowing factory in St. Louis. Shannon is 78 years old and has been broadcasting for the Cardinals since the early 70s, and that is probably the only reason he wasn't fired. The Cardinals consider the remark an unintentional slip of the tongue, but let's be honest. I mean, let's hear it again.
I'm going to tell you about a blowjob. That's right.
There's just no way that was unintentional. I'm sorry. That's right.
That's right.
Dave, have you ever had an unintentional slip of the tongue while broadcasting a game?
It was 1990. Blue Jays vs. Indians. Alex Sanchez on the mound for Toronto, throwing a great game. Everyone told me his nickname was Dirty, so I said, Dirty Sanchez, given the Cleveland Steamers. Long story short, I never worked another game in my life.
Sounds to me like you got Brockemeyered. That's 5 stories down, 5 to go. We gotta take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Miloshk, this is Ivan Babushka of Ivan Babushka's Dining Emporium with very special announcement. No longer will you need to go outside to defecate in the woods when you come to Ivan Babushka's Dining Emporium. We now have our very own bathroom inside of the restaurant. So come to Ivan Babushka's Dining Emporium, where we have bathroom inside and the best vatrushka in town.
And we're back. Before we get to our next story, I have to make a little retraction. In my last podcast, I did a story about the Bears putting up a Rex Grossman statue, which I couldn't believe was true, and it turns out it's not true. I'm a moron. It was an April Fool's joke posted by Fansided. They presented it as a real article. I wasn't paying attention. It was April 1st, and the Bears are run by complete morons, so this is something I kind of believe they could do. But they are not putting up a Rex Grossman statue, thank God, and I am a moron. Dave, give us that next story.
Watch Saquon Barkley feed alligators for ESPN.
ESPN took Barkley down to Florida and brought him to Gatorland to film for their show, Hey Rookie, Welcome to the NFL. You can go to sportsgossip.com to watch a video of Saquon standing about 5 feet from 30 different gators who could easily take his foot off at any time they want. The only thing stopping them is some dude named Pete with a stick. And Saquon is clearly nervous in this video, and for good reason. If I were him, I never would have been close to that spot in the first place. I mean, what's the best case scenario in this situation? You successfully feed a gator. Whoop-de-doo. What's the worst case scenario? He bites your foot off, and you don't get your millions of dollars to play in the NFL. I mean, what's ESPN thinking even putting him in this danger? Go to sportsgossip.com and watch the video yourself. It's crazy, it's stupid, and ESPN should be ashamed of themselves. What's next, Dave?
Sports Gossip's interview with Playboy Playmate Chloe Ture.
Chloe gave us an exclusive interview, which you could check out at sportsgossip.com, along with a bunch of pictures of her at games around the country. She is a gorgeous girl. Whoever got this interview, I'm jealous.
Why didn't we get this interview? We should have had her in studio. I would have got her topless.
Well, that's probably why we didn't get the interview. The pictures and article are worth checking out. You can go to sportsgossip.com to do that. But here's a real tip for you. After you're done checking out the article, do a search of her name and Shipwrecked and enjoy. Dave, what's next?
Chloe Ture, Shipwrecked.
Can you wait till after the show to look it up? What's next?
Man shot at Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie's NFL-themed pool party.
Cromartie hosted a party at the Clarion Hotel Sunday night in Florida. Don't ask me about the guy's condition because it's not mentioned in the article, but what is shown is the flyer for the party, which has Cromartie and 5 women with huge asses on the flyer.
I was at the party.
You were at Antonio Cromartie's pool party. What'd you do when the shots were fired?
You see that woman on the flyer with the biggest ass of them all? I was hiding behind her.
That's actually not a bad move. What's next?
Drunken Mets fan taunts Nationals fans and pours a beer on himself.
We've already done one story about Yankees fans piling garbage on a sleeping fan, Cubs and Brewers fans getting into a fight, a nerdy Milwaukee Bucks fan who likes to dress up as Milhouse, and now we got some crazy Mets fan taunting a bunch of Nationals fans, pouring a beer over his head, and then taking that cup and throwing it on the field. You can watch the video at sportsgossip.com. Now, this guy looks like a real scumbag. I'm not surprised he's a Mets fan. Dave, give us that final story.
The best of Masters winner Patrick Reed and his wife.
Now, I know golf and style are not two words usually associated with one another, and I myself have no style, but I do have enough sense to know not to wear a bright pink neon shirt on Championship Sunday at the Masters. And amazingly enough, his wife was dressed even worse. She was wearing the weirdest flower pants you've ever seen, a green sweater, and a neon pink vest to match her husband's shirt. Somebody posted a tweet comparing her to Barney, and they almost looked identical. You can go on sportsgossip.com to check out that tweet and a bunch of pictures of them at the Masters. You can judge for yourself, and like I said, I have no style, but this is the worst look I've ever seen. Congrats on the win, though. Dave, why are you staring at me like that?
I just ordered that entire outfit off jcpenney.com.
Well, don't worry, I'm sure it'll look great on you. And that'll do it for another sportsgossip.com podcast. I want to thank my announcer, Smokin' Dave. Of course, I want to thank you for listening. Remember, for these stories and much, much more, you can go to sportsgossip.com, and we will see you next time.
Tell you about a blowjob. That's right.